What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back for Week 2 and Thursday Night Football Showdown slate with the Cleveland Browns hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. And follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to my top plays for Showdown throughout the day if any news breaks. We've got the Cleveland Browns as 6-point favorites, 43.5 point total. It's a pretty standard game tonight. I'm a little nervous that the edge is small, but I'm going to dig in anyway. So let's start right now with my captains. All right, we're starting it off at the captain spot, and it's kind of running in line with the ownership, unfortunately. Baker Mayfield coming in tops of the sim, 21.7% of the time. That's a little bit more than our current projected ownership. Joe Burrow, similar story, but if I have to pick between the two quarterbacks, I'm taking the savings. I think Baker gets there more often. Or I think you could pay down a little bit. Pick up everybody's favorite wide receiver right now, Odell Beckham Jr., 12,300 in the captain spot. He has the best projection of anyone on the slate that isn't a quarterback. I have him in the sim slightly more than his current ownership. And really, I just like him a little bit better than Jarvis Landry. Landry, $300 cheaper, but 3 fantasy points behind him. I just think that Beckham gets there a little bit more. I definitely like the idea of betting more on the Cleveland side of this game than I do the Cincinnati side. So it's hard to squeeze too much value out of the top. If you really want to get different, it's more in the fades. We're going to get to that in a little bit, but Cody Parkey, Randy Brown, maybe the Browns defense, but that one seems a little dicey. I think one of the kickers would be the long shot captains you're looking for. But let me know in the comment section who are your favorite captains. Now, as we transition to the flex spot, it's kind of normal at the top. Burrow, 45% in the sim, 45% ownership. Baker just outpacing it a little bit. AJ Green, same sim probabilities as the ownership. Hard to get very different at the top. The next tier is where I think it gets you a little bit of edge. Joe Mixon, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. That group is all outpacing their ownership by a couple points. Those are the spots that I would like to be a little heavier on to try to get at least a hair different from the field. Mixon in particular finishes as a top play at the flex spot more than anybody else in that range, 47% of the time. In the Landry, Chubb, Hunt area, I'm going to lean a little bit more towards Landry. He gets north of that 41% number, slightly lower ownership than Kareem Hunt, but Kareem Hunt does look good. I prefer Kareem Hunt to Nick Chubb, given his involvement in the passing game just being a little bit higher. I have him 0.8 of a fantasy point higher. That's bringing him in just a little bit more. So Landry and Hunt in that area, I think, are the easiest bets to outpace their ownership. Then after that, I'm dropping all the way down. Going to the kicker, Randy Bullock. This is the second time I'm recording this because I called him Randy Brown, not even the kicker for the Browns. Randy Bullock, the kicker for the Bengals. That's so hard to say. Either way, I'm not expecting a ton out of the Bengals. I think that they might have to lean on the kicking game a little bit more than they would like. And with Randy Bullock only at 13.5% ownership, that's a spot where you could squeeze out some value. Now, it's also possible that Bullock doesn't have his job after this week. But, what are you going to do? You have to approach this in a different manner. And for right now, given his ownership being basically 6 percentage points behind Cody Parkey, I want to go to Bullock as my pay down kicker option. Now, I've said it in my previous videos for last Thursday, Sunday night, and Monday night. It's easier to get different based on your fades than it is based on your plays. And for right now, AJ Green looking like one of my key fades at captain. He's at 8% ownership, only showed up in the captain spot just shy of 4% of the time. I'm not all the way back on him. It was nice to see the targets in week 1, but for right now, I think it's easier to go other directions if AJ Green is going to be 13.5. I just think that he is overpriced for his role. Similarly, Nick Chubb, 11.4. I just prefer Kareem Hunt. Hunt coming out more often than not more often than Chubb, at least, in the sim. Similar ownership, so it's just easier to fade Chubb and go to Hunt. And then finally at the flex spot, not a ton of spots that totally stand out, but CJ Uzoma, 5K, 12% ownership, only finished as a top flex play 2.5% of the time. He got 5 targets in week 1, and you're going to need more than that in that flex spot. I think that's probably like a ceiling, so to speak. He could add the touchdown for sure. And clearly, if he gets a touchdown, you need him. I think those odds are pretty low. I think there's just too many other weapons. So CJ Uzomah showing up as basically the worst play for me at flex. 12% ownership, but only 2.5% of the time in the sim. I will be avoiding Uzomah completely for tonight's slate. All right, everybody, that'll wrap it up for my top showdown plays for Browns and Bengals tonight. Once again, let me know in the comments section who you like at captain, who are your favorite plays in the flex, who are your favorite fades. I want to know it, so let me know in the comments, and be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I will be on the Live Before Lock NBA edition, but come find me in our premium Slack if you are a sub to Awesemo.com. I'll be in updating these numbers just before lock so that you can get the best of what we have to offer. Good luck tonight. I'll talk to you guys again in a showdown slate Sunday afternoon.